Hi, my name is Matthew Holtby. I just traveled 2 hours to get to the city to be the first time in this chair and become part of Toronto Mike.
2 hours. And you got to go home, right?
At some
Or
point.
do you live here now?
I'm now part of the furniture.
You now live in the TMDS basement. Welcome to episode 1939 of Toronto Mic'd. I need a new light, Matthew. That's doing weird stuff over there. An award-winning podcast, proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery. Order online at greatlakesbeer.com for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Visit palmapasta.com for more. Toronto Maple Leafs baseball. Catch a game at Christie Pitts this summer. No ticket required. Fusion Corp's own Nick Iones. He's the host of Building Toronto Skyline. And Mike and Nick, two podcasts that you ought to listen to. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home. Pillars of the community since 1921. Joining me today, making his Toronto Mic'd debut, it's Matthew Holtby. 2 hours?
It's worth it.
Okay, but where did you come from? The moon? That's a long commute.
I just left a message for someone saying, I don't know that I would do this for anybody else, but I'm such a fan of your show. And
holy smokes.
It was a non-negotiable. So yeah, here we are.
Okay, well, it was. Now I feel rotten. I'm doing a heel turn. I took some heat yesterday for how I treated Rob Pruce, but maybe more on that later. But I should have let you zoom in. Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, I was listening to Wide Mouth Mason on my way in, and I was like,
zoomed in.
I was like,
he was in Runnymede.
He lives around the corner.
I know.
And he got zoomed in. So no, I zoomed in from my vehicle. So.
Okay, well, I'm actually honored you're here. Like, that means a lot to me. I do feel bad about the fact that it's a 2 hour each way. That's 4 hours in a car. That's not a car you're driving, though. That's a beast.
It is.
So at least I can send you home with some delicious frozen lasagna from Palma Pasta.
Which might be thawed by the time I get home. But that's neither here nor there.
What's the AC like in that pickup truck?
It was beautiful today.
So you get the lasagna, which should feed you for multiple days. I don't know how many mouths you got to feed, but how many mouths you will be eating this Palma Pasta
including
lasagna?
The dog, 3? Well, no, so 4. I should include my wife, but
yeah. So does your wife get any of the Palma Pasta lasagna?
It depends, but yes,
And
certainly my kids.
Who's a third?
So I have 2 beautiful kids and my wife and my dog, and the cats don't eat lasagna. But I already did tell my kids that I will be coming home with a frozen lasagna.
Okay,
today.
but that sounds like 4 human beings.
Yes.
Okay, you'll have leftovers, but.
Yes.
That's going home with you. Thank you, Palma Pasta. And I don't think your kids get this. You'll have to enjoy this with your wife. But I do have fresh craft beer for you from Great Lakes Brewery.
That is lovely. Thank you so
much. And if you
much.
wanted to crack one during the recording, I would go up and get you a cold one. You just say the word.
Thank you, but I'm okay.
You're
That's
okay.
fine.
Okay. So, oh, wow, 2 hours. So you don't have to dox yourself, but where are we talking that might be 2 hours away from South Etobicoke?
I'm going to, because I don't think too many people are going to come to Warkworth, Ontario to
Say it again.
Warkworth.
Can you spell it?
Yeah, W-A-R. In fact, you know what? You can, because I brought you this T-shirt.
Wow.
Look at,
Okay.
Look, as we bridge the gap,
It's
this
a
is a
gift
T-shirt.
exchange.
Okay, so here's my T-shirt that.
Okay, let me see this.
This features a tiny little man playing guitar on a large mushroom.
Well, put it on. Okay, I was wearing my Mike Stafford tribute T-shirt, which says "turd in his basement," because Mike Stafford once said that on AM 640. About me. And we'll get into your... Go ahead. You finish that thought. But I was going to say, just let the people know that you're not only a musician and we're going to play some music, but of course you have a pretty cool radio background. So we're going to cover a lot of ground. Were you going to say anything about the great Mike Stafford?
I was going to say that it is certainly a term of endearment coming from somebody like Mike Stafford, who is, the part of the landscape, especially from something that I've been doing for quite some time. So
So are you familiar with the work of Mike Stafford?
I am, not only as a fellow broadcaster, but just as a fan and just being sports, a sports fan, obviously. And I love the fact that I'm looking at like vintage Blue Jays calendar because my kids are now so my son is the stats guy, but now this new series that's on Sportsnet, all about the Blue Jays now, I'm schooling him on all things George, Jesse, Ernie, etc. Yeah. So when I see stuff
greatest
like that,
outfield in baseball, Lloyd Mosby, George Bell, and Jesse Barfield.
Yeah, it's so good. We went to bed watching it last night, actually. So.
Okay, well, I got to catch up on that because I love my Blue Jays history. But are you of a vintage? I'm looking at you here. I know I got some years on you, but do you have vivid memories of the World Series victories?
Oh, yeah. Before that, my first game was at Exhibition Stadium, and my claim to fame was that Jesse Barfield waved to me, which I'm sure was waving to tens of thousands of people. But yeah, I can remember asking my dad, because my uncle and my dad went together with us to the game. You used to get this thing called, what was it? It was called something like the Bug, but it was a little one-piece earphone.
Oh, to listen to 1430.
Exactly.
Tom Cheek and Jerry Howard.
Yeah. So that's my first
So you're a radio guy. Check this out.
Oh, that's so great. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, that's the Flash from CJCL 1430, and they would the Telemedia Sports Network, and they would have carried the Tom Cheek and Jerry Howarth call of a Blue Jays game back then.
That's important stuff for any fan. That's beautiful. I love that, and I do appreciate that.
You're in the right. It was worth the 2-hour drive.
100%. Absolutely.
So while we're doing this nostalgia thing off the top, and then we'll get to know you, and I got music loaded up and all this, but I have a friend and client named Donovan Bailey. Have you ever heard of this guy?
Oh man, I saw that. That's crazy.
So you ready to hear it? Want to relive it? Like spend a minute with me 30 years ago today. So we're recording on, what is this? July 27, 2026. So 30 years ago, if my math is correct, it was July 27, 1996. And since you went to games at Exhibition Stadium, I know you remember 1996.
100%.
You ready to spend a minute with me here?
Let's go.
Here we go. Let's do it.
This time they do get away. Now it's Donovan Bailey trying to pick up runners. Donovan Bailey is putting on a surge. Adam Bolden in the lead. Here comes Bailey. He's got it. 9.84, a world record for Donovan Bailey and a gold medal. Donovan Bailey through the heats and into the semifinal indicated that he was ready. He had the power down the stretch to overtake other runners. He did not get his great start, but it was improved over what we saw from him earlier. And over the final 50 meters, it was Otto Bolden and Frankie Fredericks that he caught at the finish line. And clearly, unlike the women's final, Donovan Bailey of Canada is the Olympic champion. And at that time on the scoreboard clock of 9.84 holds, it is a world record as well as a gold medal.
And that time did hold. It was a world record. Of course, that makes it an Olympic record and gold medal for Canada. 1 week later, he'd anchored the 4x100 meter relay team to another gold. Do you remember where you were watching that race?
So I can recall more of I remember being in my sister's bedroom when the doping scandal for Ben Johnson happened.
88.
So, yeah, like I can recall. It's funny, right? Memories for me go way back, and then there's a whole bunch of a hazy, foggy thing throughout the 90s, I would imagine. But I do recall that being especially a really big deal, like the talk of the street when Bailey absolutely got that.
It's funny you mentioned Ben, because I think a big reason the Donovan Bailey gold medal Olympic record was so important to this country was because we were only 8 years removed from the Ben Johnson scandal where they stripped him, and there was some I think there was like a feeling like, is Donovan running clean? Will this happen again? And of course, he was running clean. He never tested positive for anything of a banned nature. And, to this day, 30 years later, his podcast is called Donovan Bailey Running Things, and we recorded an episode with Jason Portwando this morning, and I opened that episode with that same call we just heard, the Don Whitman call that aired on CBC, and I can't believe, because we're probably not that far in age as I think we might be, but I called you Ryan Reynolds off the top.
I mean, I'll take any of it. That's great.
Take the Ryan Reynolds
Thank
compliment.
you.
I don't say that to just anybody here.
Thank you.
But I can't believe a memory where I felt like I was an adult. I was in my 20s. I watched that race. I was as excited as all of Canada. I can't believe events like that are now 30 years in the rearview mirror. Like 30 years ago, I was an adult witnessing something. Like, how old am I?
Right. It's crazy. And the old thing that you've heard your entire life, it gets quicker as you get older. And I think at that point in time, we were in need of a hero big time, especially like you said, in retrospect with the whole Ben
Johnson thing.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're looking for a Toronto Mic'd episode for your drive home, the 2-hour drive, because in a minute I'm going to try to find out where the hell Warkworth is. I can read it on my t-shirt here, which I'm not wearing. But listen to Ben Johnson on Toronto Mic'd.
Okay.
So he's down here. Mary Ormsby was with him because she wrote a book about Ben.
Nice.
And it's kind of bananas. And Ben, who I remember in the 80s, I remember Ben as a stutterer. Do you remember how Ben would stutter?
Yep.
He was in the basement with me for 90 minutes.
How did he fit down here?
Well, he's actually not a tall guy.
Yeah,
Donovan's taller than he is.
His stature is big, though,
he's
right?
a wide guy.
Yeah,
he's a wide guy.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear a single stutter. I stutter far more than Ben Johnson now. So whatever he did to remedy that, wow. Like no stutter from Ben anymore.
Can I state that maybe it had something to do with some other things that were involved, man? Can I go
You
on?
can say anything. You can say as long as you add the word allegedly.
Allegedly, of course.
Lord Honickman says that's the magic word.
No,
You just say it.
that's just me being a smart ass. Listen, he is a hero to this country regardless, and the fact that he was sitting next to, like, in this spot right here is
Ben or Donovan? Both are heroes.
I think both.
Because I know, you know what? Ben ran 9.79.
That's bonkers.
And he let up at the end. He put up his hand with like 10 meters to go.
Yeah, to slow down, to get the current to help slow him down.
So he stopped running. He ran a 90-meter race, and 10 meters he had his finger in the air to tell Carl Lewis that he's the champ. Yeah. Hey, so my t-shirt, which thank you very much for the gift. I also have a book for you on the history of Toronto Maple Leafs baseball.
Love it.
Going home with you. You catch the games at Christie Pitts. No ticket required. Warkworth. Am I an ignoramus for not knowing even what direction Warkworth is in? Can you give me like a little clue?
So if you travel east on the 401, do you know where the Big Apple is?
Of course.
Colburn?
Yes, I do know the Big Apple.
Like, 15 minutes from there. Yep. And I will also say Toronto media alumni Jeannie Becker lives very close. I'm not going to be
You're blowing my mind right now.
Yeah.
The new music.
Yeah.
With J.D. Roberts.
Yeah. Well, Jeannie Becker was more fashion television.
Well, that's later, though.
Right,
but she's the new music.
Yeah.
And I just was reading Christopher Ward's book. Again, I was reading this book called Is This Live? And it's like an oral history of Much Music. It's very interesting. But basically, that's the prototype for Much Music.
Totally.
Is the new music of J.D. Roberts and Jeannie Becker. But you're right. At some point, fashion television beckons. I think Denise Donlin is hired to replace Jeannie Becker at Much Music.
Right. And she is just still this, like the first time that I met her at a gathering, I was just so in awe because
Jeannie.
100%. When I can hear the theme music when I'm talking to her.
Obsession by Animotion.
Exactly. Yeah. See, you know your music. But
I know my City TV theme song.
I suppose. You know your Moses.
You're in the right place, man.
Yeah,
it was worth the 2-hour drive. I think
100%.
we're going to hit it. I know my Moses, but Moses will not come on Toronto Mic'd.
That doesn't surprise me, but I digress.
That man likes to control his press.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe if I gave him editorial privilege, he'd come on and he'll just delete the file after we record.
Allegedly.
I'll have someone secretly recording the live stream at live.torontomike.com.
And and that theme song will still be playing. It'll be great.
You're my obsession. Okay, I see in the live stream, I see some great people in the live stream. I see Ty, the Christmas guy, always good to see him. I see Jeremy Hopkin. And when I see Jeremy Hopkin, the official Toronto historian of this podcast. In fact, this is the first Monday in a few weeks I didn't have Jeremy Hopkin on the show. We recorded from Scatting Cabin last Monday, and the previous Monday he went off on AI slop. But when I see Jeremy Hopkin, I think about history. So can I blow your mind before it becomes all about Matthew Holtby?
I would love that.
This is episode 1939. Now, you and I are getting older, but we're not old enough to remember 1939. So let me tell you some significant happenings in Toronto in the year 1939. You ready?
I am ready.
King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. That's the Queen Mother, okay? That's Queen Elizabeth II's mom. So they visit, and this was the first ever visit of a reigning monarch to the city of Toronto That was in 1939. That's the first time that happened. A reigning monarch visited the T dot.
That's pretty special. It almost makes me think of like TEA dot, like the sipping of tea dot.
Because they drink tea in England.
Amen. Love it.
You should be on the radio. We'll talk about that. Okay. But another significant happening in 1939 is they opened, you ready for this? The QEW.
Wow.
The QEW opened the Queen Elizabeth Ways. It's all about the Queen here. It was originally this is between Toronto and Niagara Falls, and it opened in 1939.
I mean, do you have the drum thing there? Ba-dum-bum?
I do have it in the soundboard, but I'm not going to play it because that's more of a morning zoo type thing.
Right, yeah.
Right? We're very sophisticated here. Okay.
This is not that. Thank God.
Let's shout out a mutual friend, Cam Carpenter.
Yes.
How do you know Cam?
Cam has been my publicist for a little while, and the fact that he knows you is not surprising. He knows every single person. I'm sure the guy that you were talking to when I pulled up, he probably knows that guy. And my drummer, who I've been with for 2 decades, Cam used to manage his band a long time ago.
Do you know the name of that band?
I believe it was the Carnations.
Okay.
I think so.
Because someone listening is going to be like, yeah, I saw them at the
or
Palace.
Or he's going to correct me either way. But, when I just doing what I do, you're always trying to get more eyes and ears on stuff. And somebody had said that you should reach out to him. And I did a few years ago. And he and I have been friends ever since.
He's at everything. Like I don't get out that as much as I can because I got, family stuff always in the way, but I get out to this and that. Every time I get out to anything, Cam Carpenter is there.
Always. And he's the guy that will wear your t-shirt. He wants your set list after the show as well. He is he's the best at what he does.
There's another band he works with by a guy named Manfred Sitman. Do you know this name? Manfred Sitman.
I do know that name.
And the band is called Elephants and Stars.
Yes, I play them on my radio show.
Okay, so good. I am going to get into your music, Matthew. This is going to be about your music. And I'm going to get the origin story. But you have a radio show?
I do. In fact, I do middays on a station out of Lindsay, Ontario. But like you, I do it from the comfort of my own home. It's called Y91.9 FM.
Okay. Quick note here, because I said you look like Ryan Reynolds a little bit. You sound a little bit like Jeff Woods.
Jeff is a great mentor of mine, I would say.
Are you mimicking him?
Not at all. This is just the mic. In fact, I remember Jerry Chauman at Humber College Radio said, the mic is going to love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's that.
I'm paying you too many compliments. I think I feel guilty you had to drive 2 hours to be here.
Keep it coming, man. Keep it coming.
If you sound like Jeff Woods and you look like Ryan Reynolds, the world is your oyster.
I'm okay with that. I have a funny Jeff Woods story that I don't think you would mind.
Hit me. I love Jeff Woods' story.
So when I was leaving one radio station and going to another, he had graciously invited me to pop by to have a chat with him. And when I showed up, he forgot that I was coming, and he was in his house coat and answered the door for me.
And he said, hello.
Very much so. And it was like, what you see or what you hear is what you get in person. And he was so sweet and gracious and gave me like 2 hours of his time sitting in his house coat. He probably doesn't remember this, but I do vividly.
Is this during his, I want to get the place right. Don't tell me. Thornbury.
Yeah.
Is this the Thornbury chapter of Jeff Woods' life?
Very much so. And I can't tell you the exact year, but it was a long, long time ago.
A long time ago. Okay, so shout out Jeff Woods. So radio, though, this is called Y91.9. And what kind of music do you play on that station?
The thing I love about it is that it is the greatest hits of all time. It's not only the slogan of the station, but they'll play everything from Tom Petty to Prince, MC Hammer. Like if it was a hit, they will play it. And
wow, Hammer time.
Yeah, every time that I'm on, I have no idea, and I don't look at paper logs while I do the show. I just kind of go with the flow, and I love the surprise every time. Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, do you play any spoons?
The spoons, yes.
Well, I asked Gord.
Or do I play the spoons?
I said to Gord Deb, he sat right there, and I said, spoons or the spoons? And he said, either or, I don't care.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I am a big fan of a Texas band called Spoon.
Right.
And I just got back from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2 weeks ago where they performed. And people are getting that confused. In fact, I took my buddy. My buddy was like, everyone wants to know, why are the Spoons playing? And it's not the same band.
Yeah, the Spoons are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No.
No.
But Spoon played out front of it, and they're a great band. So,
No, Spoon.
Yeah.
It's funny. There's a FOTM WhatsApp group, and somebody, I think it was Langer, Mr. 22 for 22 at the TMLX events. Langer joked that Rob Pruce was a founding member of Spoon, which is founded in '93. But was also at the time still a 15-year-old. Like, this is the Rob Pruce never ages myth that's going on here. Okay, so you're at Y91.9, and your program's on Sundays, right?
No, that show where I get to play bands like Elephants and Stars is Sunday at 6:00.
Okay, that's where you play indie artists and unsigned bands. Okay, so
Yeah.
when else would you be heard on this Lindsay station?
10 to 2 every day, Monday to Friday. I host middays there.
Do you want to give me I don't want to make this 90 minutes on radio, but do you want to get like any other stops along the way? I feel like I'm Gord Downey there. You're making stops along the way.
Oh, nice.
Where
Look at
else
you.
have you been in the radio universe?
Yeah, so I graduated from Hamburg, jobbed out there, and got hired in my hometown of Oshawa. And I worked for a station called Magic at 94.9 back in the day. And that station got... Why, do you know this?
Wait, no, but 94.9 is The Rock.
Okay, so I was hired at Magic at 94.9 with the preconceived notion that this station is being sold. And on my last day on air at Magic, I got a call from my program director, who is now, ironically, my program director now. Oh. And he said, he said, I think we hear something here. And called me and said, come meet me at Shoeless Joe's up the street the next day. And I did. And he gave me a job. And I was on the opening team of 94.9 The Rock. With yeah.
No, so that's a station I'm very familiar with. I've been there on the airport strip there or whatever. They have a studio it's like a airport.
It is in the airport, and I was there for 13 years. So
okay, and at some point Bob Willett was there.
So I never worked with Bob, but I did work with Craig Venn, who I know that you know very well,
of course,
as well, and Lee Ackley. I know that Lee Ackley's been in this chair. Yep. So and Doug Elliott was
who once drove a Wii. Nintendo Wii to my home.
Yeah, I don't doubt any of this at all.
Okay, yes. All three of these guys I like.
Yeah. I got like my start in rock radio in Oshawa, and then left from there to go to Peterborough at the Wolf, and then took some time off, and then they called me every time I get out. They pulled me back in,
right?
And now I'm back on the air again.
You're back on the air here. Okay, so we're gonna pivot to music in a moment, but Craig Venn. One of my favorite Craig Venn stories is he's producing like a comedy show on CFNY for Ted Wallachin. And Ted makes a mistake, and he does this, like, everyone cover your children's ears, but something like, fucking shit, fuck, cock, whatever. And then he, retakes. But producer, editor Craig Venn completely misses.
Tell me he left it on the air.
Yeah, and it aired.
I love that.
And this is like a great, like one of the great sticks. I do a few episodes about CFNY, and Craig Venn, of course, was there. And then, the name he doesn't want to use anymore, I won't use, but he was given a name by John Derringer.
I know it. I think I know it. And
everybody knows it, Matthew. Everybody knows it. And I realized, don't call him that name, because that's like John Derringer's way of like reducing him to something less than.
Is
whatever.
It something boy?
Yes.
Okay, so I won't say that. So I do know that name. And I also feel it's important to tell you that David Marsden worked with me for
of course.
My entirety there. And not only is he a dear friend and a supporter of my music too, but he has been somebody that I've always held in the highest regard.
Mars bar.
Yeah, he's the best. And I still talk to him often.
Oh, yeah. He is the best, and he's got great hair.
His hair is so long now. I love it.
I'm a big Mars Bar guy. I like David Marsden very much. What a legend, speaking of Spirit of Radio, CFNY. And he had that show on The Rock where he could play what he wants. And then there was a documentary made by a guy named Roger King. Do you know this name?
I know Roger well.
So Roger makes a doc called, I think it's called I Play What I Want or something, about 3 DJs in North America who they don't get a playlist handed to them or whatever, or programmed in. They play what they want. And Marsden's in this doc, but Marsden gets let go by The Rock. Like The Rock says, we're not doing that anymore before this doc comes out.
Right.
But that didn't make the doc. But,
it still was left in. But at the same time, obviously, he has made this huge moment in the latest Spirit of Radio documentary, which is beautiful. And he's all over that too, and the stories and etc.
I know you mentioned you're from the Dirty Schwa, but did you ever dream of working in Toronto radio?
There was a time where I thought that I might end up at either the Q or the Edge. Dave Farrow once interviewed me and told me that if I wanted to get hired to get on Larry King that night. if you really want this job, you'll call in and get on Larry King tonight. And
Caller, you there, caller?
Yeah, and I said, I don't want this job that bad. So
you got to wear suspenders for that one.
Yeah, I'm not that guy. So
you know what's super freaking creepy is that Larry King's been dead a long time, but once in a while you'll stumble upon it's like an infomercial commercial for lawyers or something where Larry King is doing it.
He's like the voiceover.
Yeah, he's more than the voice. You see him, like shriveled up old Larry King is doing this like lawyer promo, and it's weird because he's been dead a very long time.
But
now.
he looked like that for the last 10 years, and didn't he land like? Wasn't his wife like at least 40 years?
Yeah, which means she's 80.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. He met her in the senior living center. Yeah.
Any more radio highlights before we pivot to your music origin story?
Well, I would just like to say that the New Noise, the program that I do and that I produce and host every Sunday at 6:00, is just my way of trying to give back to the community that has ushered me in and helped me out so much. And I love being able to play unsigned independent talent from across this province and the country. And there's just so much. And I am absolutely inundated with music, to be honest. There's just so many people making great music. So tune in.
That's the Sunday program.
Yeah, the New Noise, Sundays at 6.
I hear you can get radio on the internet now.
Yeah, it's kind of the only way, really, depending on where you're listening from. But yeah.
Right, you don't have to go to Lindsay, which is near Peterborough, right?
Yeah, it's a quarter of the
Lindsay,
lakes.
I know. Okay, Lindsay, I know. So, all right, so if any radio things hit you along the way, you can spit them out. Okay?
Thank you.
No rules here. I do want to quickly shout out recyclemyelectronics.ca because they support the show. And if you, Matthew, hold on, I'm going to read it. In Warkworth, Ontario, if you have any old cables, old devices, old laptops lying around, don't throw them in the garbage because those chemicals end up in our landfill. Go to recyclemyelectronics.ca. Put in your Warkworth. I like saying Warkworth. I never knew it existed.
I can tell.
I know Coburn.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey.
Warkworth. You know Campbellford? You ever heard of Campbellford?
Yeah, I feel like I've seen a sign for Campbellford.
Yeah, or Hastings. These are all little hamlets around.
Okay, Hastings.
And like Warkworth is 600 people.
How far are you from Port Hope? Far.
An hour.
An hour. Oh, that's a long way from Port Hope.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just thinking my daughter lives in Montreal and I do this 401 drive and I can just see like when you leave the GTA when you start seeing these signs. So because there's a Coburn and there's one that sounds similar.
Coburg,
right. And those two usually mess me up here. Okay. So did I do? Yeah. So recyclemyelectronics.ca. That's where you go. And last but not least, I want to thank Nick Iones for stepping up and fueling the real talk so we could have convos with people like Matthew Holtby. And Nick Iones has 2 great podcasts, and one is called Building Toronto Skyline, and the other is called Mike and Nick, and we record every couple of weeks, and I urge you to check it out. Okay, so Matthew, you've been in radio for like 25 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
But you're also a musician with some great music that we're going to listen to in this very program. So firstly, on your Y91.9 FM show where you play indie artists and unsigned bands, can you play your own music?
And I do.
Okay, there's no conflict there.
No. I mean,
Kim Mitchell was the afternoon drive on Q, and every second song I think was a Kim Mitchell or Max Webster song.
How could you not? I mean, he's a wild party. But that being said, for me, the excuse is timing out the hour. So at the end, I wouldn't say they're mathematically designed, the 330 hit single number there. Not that any of my songs have been either hits or hit singles, but that being said, if I have to time out the hour, the odds are it might be a Matthew Holtby song at the end of the show. Generally a new one.
This is like when they had, there's 2 minutes left before the sports news package. Let's play
Blitzkrieg
song
Bob.
2.
Yeah, or song 2.
Song 2.
Yep.
Or also the Sloan song, is it The Good in Everyone?
Yep.
That's also like a 2-minute jam.
Yep. That's, there's a couple. There's a Rush one as well. It's not Closer to the Heart, but there's another one that was just...
It's shocking, though, because you think they're kind of proggy. This is the topic that's for the next toast. I don't know if you've ever heard a toast with Bob Willett and Rob Bruce, but the next toast, which will be August toast, is I'm going to kick out a few of my favorite prog rock songs. And this is a genre, like I know nothing about it and I don't gravitate towards it, but I'm just assuming Rush is prog rock.
It's going to be Rush and Genesis for the entirety of that show. as it should be.
Oh, and yes.
And yes, yeah, Roundabout on repeat.
Well, Roundabout's got to make my list. I actually like that song.
That's so good.
That'll make list. But I'm shocked to hear Rush has a 2-minute song because I just think of them as long songs.
Xanadu is not 2 minutes long. Closer to the Heart, I think, is 2 something. I feel that way anyway.
Closer to the heart.
So good, right?
Okay. Who's saying subdivisions in the song Subdivisions? Do you have an opinion on that?
I 100% know this. It is May He Rest in Peace, City TV alumni. Oh man.
Well, I'm gonna watch you sweat. I'm gonna watch you squirm. This is now that I've done my heel turn. This is a highlight. Okay, let me help you. You ready?
The following program contains adult themes, nudity, and coarse language. Viewer and parental discretion is advised.
You know what? You know I'm not going to edit this, and it's
but you know what? Don't answer it because in about 5 minutes it's going to pop into my head.
Because when you said he's no longer with us, the 2 most common answers both would be applicable to that clue, if you will. So I'll leave this, and if it strikes you, spit out the name. Okay?
Yeah, and I can see his face. He wears wire rim glasses. He was a big guy in stature, and that voice could only be him. And
and the name's eluding you right now.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, but I do know the answer to this question 100%.
When did you fall in love with making music? Like when did you realize I'd like to become a singer-songwriter of some?
So the first time that I went to school was I think I was 18 when I ended up in London, Ontario at Fanshawe, and the program that I was in across the hall from it was the recording arts program, where they had a fantastic studio there, and the production students were having way more fun than I was. And I always knew that I could write, and I played very loose guitar, but I was just spending a lot of time in that studio, and then I later found out that you could rent a 4-track from the library at Fanshawe. So my roommate and I would rent one for the weekend. I would just start, kind of making ideas and throwing them on the 4-track and writing. And the music that I was listening to at the time was also kind of lo-fi. My favorite band is a band called Guided by Voices.
Oh, yeah.
And GBV has always been like this lo-fi 4-track kind of band in their earlier stages of the career. So I was just kind of inundated and interested with all things recording before I was like, hey, I want to get on stage. And Elliott Smith was one of my very favorites as well. And the story of how he was recording his first records was really inspirational to me. So I would say I was probably like 18 when I started to write music, and then a couple years later getting on stage. So
help me understand though, are these 2 concurrent dreams? Like I'm Radio Matt? You don't mind if I call you Matt, do you?
No, yeah. I was known by another name when I was on the radio.
Do you want to say that name?
Well, yeah, they used to call me Matt Diamond back on the air.
Okay, Matt Diamond. Okay. Yesterday we couldn't remember the name Lori Love.
Interesting.
And we couldn't remember the name, and then Bob finally remembered the name Lori Love. And it was like, oh, that's the fakest name I've ever heard. But Matt Diamond is right up there. Okay.
And I'll tell you, there's a quick story is that when I told you that I got like, they fired everyone at Magic. They kept me, but they were like, we need to give you a new name. And Al Joines was like, how about the Diamond on the Rock? And I said, that's so ridiculous. Let's do it.
I love this guy. What a Beatles freak this guy is. We've been talking back and forth. He's been on, but when he left Q, Al Joines came over, but he's supposed to come back and kick out like his favorite Beatles songs or something like that. Like,
did I just see a photo of him on stage? Is so he plays a mean tambourine. I don't know if you know this.
Because he's into, I don't know. We keep in touch. He will be back on Toronto Mike, but he was one of the nicest people.
He's a sweetheart, and he's a huge Blue Jays fan as well. I know that much. And the last time that I saw him, he was walking past me at the Rogers Center, and I was trying to get his attention, but I think he was a man on a mission. Al Joines.
Okay, keep dropping the names. Are you kidding me here?
I love Al. He's such a sweet guy, and he is certainly one of the reasons that I got that job, for sure.
Yeah, okay. So, but back to my little thought there, is that, so concurrently, it's like, I'm Radio Matt Diamond or whatever you are there, but also
say it with a straight face.
I'd like to be like Hayden Desser or whatever. I'm getting like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, his hat's right here. Things are as bad, but he had the 4-track, and in the early '90s, he's just cooking up as bad as they seem on 4-track here. But like, so you have these 2 concurrent dreams.
Yeah, the radio thing only came to me because I didn't want to work anymore. I had already, jobbed out doing graphic design and a bunch of stuff and I was just like, I cannot do an office job. I can't be the cubicle guy sitting in front of a computer.
Right.
And I just remember I did the thing where you backpack for a little bit with my guitar, and I traveled out west for a minute, and then I was listening to a lot of radio, and I was like, these guys are not great at what they do. I think I could do this job. And I came back and got into the program. It was a 9-month program.
Right, the
at
Humber one, right?
Yeah. And like, to me, just talking about music is not a job. It is just something I'd be doing anyway. And I thought that maybe this was something I could do. And lo and behold, it happened.
Well, enjoy it before every program in the country is just Roz and Mocha.
Yeah. Or it's going to be the laugh, what are on The Simpsons, like the DJ, the DJ 2000?
The DJ 3000 or whatever it was. Yeah. How about those clowns in Congress
right?
or whatever? Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, friend of the show, Sandra Plagakis, was doing mornings in Ottawa, a Kiss station in Ottawa, and apparently doing well for like almost a decade. And then they tap her on the shoulder and say, hey, we're not firing you. You could have I don't have any insight into whether they reduced the salary. I somehow suspect they might have, but I have that's an allegedly speculative statement by yours truly. I have no insight into this, but they told her you're now middays or whatever, you're 9 to 2, and Roz and Mocha are the new morning show.
Well, I think that anyone that does what we're doing right now, with the exception of a podcast, but talking into a microphone, no one's exempt.
Endangered species?
Yeah.
All of you? Even Roz and Mocha?
Well, not them in particular, but I also divulged to you that I also do something that is called described video. And so my other gig is to watch, I want to say great TV. It's not. But I watch television for a living, and my job is to jump in between dialogue to set the scene for people that are visually impaired.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So. I feel like Jim Van Horn was doing something like that with sports or something.
It's possible, because I watch more Real Housewives than I know about my own wife, and I can tell you all the tea on all of the stuff. The Bravo verse is, yeah.
And like things that aren't said on the show, like let's say she's pouring tea.
Yep, you know, Mike walks into a room.
Mike is pouring tea.
Yeah, just like, see, you could do that job.
Wait, I don't have your pipes. I actually was joking the other day. I had a week in July. So earlier this month, there was a week where I got this like very rare summer cold. And, you know, I record a lot. And I was listening back to an episode. It was the AI Slop episode of Jeremy Hopkins. And I was listening back and I'm like, this is the first episode in the 2000 or whatever episodes of Toronto Mike where I liked my voice. I liked how I said, oh, I sound like a man.
Yeah. There's like an episode of Friends when Phoebe gets a cold. Now she's got this sexy voice. So all I got to do is just.
Kathleen Turner.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Okay. So you're borrowing at Fanshawe College. You're borrowing a 4-track. Your roommate, I guess, you're cooking up some stuff. Then what's next? Like, I want to hear about the music career of Matthew Holtby, and then we'll get to some jams I've pulled here.
Sure. I want to name drop a couple of.
I love name drops.
People that no one, in terms of like, no, I was going to say in broadcasting. So before I was name dropping people in broadcasting, but a dear friend of mine by the name of Poor Pelly in Oshawa was hosting open mics at a place called the Velvet Elvis. And this is kind of this tiny little front room of a home that was converted into a venue and a bar that everybody was going to get their start, really. And not only did I begin to play at places like that, but then the torch was kind of passed on, and I began hosting at other places in and around the Durham region, and then that followed me kind of everywhere that I went. And I was more of I was the guy that was facilitating people that were writing songs in their bedroom and playing them on stage for the first time, and that to me is the best feeling ever, to try to make people feel comfortable and get them on stage and introduce them to each other and their songs to the world. And open mic, was kind of the vehicle for that for me. And then I just kind of started to pepper in my own songs, and I would get the courage to get up and sing my own songs as well.
Tough sledding, right? Like this is Canada. Like it's tough going, right, for an independent singer-songwriter.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of artists will say that in your own backyard is the toughest. It's strange that way. It's like you're either way up here or you're kind of trying to play catch up all the time.
Well, you know who would agree with that sentiment, I would say, would be a very talented singer-songwriter named Ron Sexsmith.
So Ron is not only a hero of mine, but Ron plays in my neck of the woods quite often. He's really dear friends with a couple of friends of mine as well.
I think he lives in Stratford.
He does, but he makes his way out to my neck of the woods every single summer.
He's great. Right? Yeah. Like, I mean, we got to give some love to this guy, but he's bigger in Europe than he is in Canada. Yeah,
Danko Jones is the same, right? I mean, he really got his start across the pond, and that is something. Yeah, like there's a bunch of bands that, like, Billy Talent is a big deal here, but you go there and they're playing in front of hundreds of thousands.
Right?
Yeah,
I've heard this.
Yeah,
they're
3 Days Grace. 3 Days Grace, the same thing. Like, I'm talking hundreds of thousands of people And if that's the way to do it, I mean, let's go.
So okay, because obviously we're going to play some recent stuff, but we're talking about 20-something years of you at this game, right? It's like were there any moments when you thought that you would be like as well known as a Ron Sexsmith or as big as a Ron Hawkins? I'm going to name all the Rons I know.
Sure.
As popular as Ron McLean.
I like that. That's good. Ron Jeremy, maybe, for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
he's a
piece of crap, though. So.
Yeah, he's not a good human. Listen, I was always in bands when I first started. I shied away from using my own name because I never wanted to be. I was always trying to rely on.
But were you like Matt Diamond? Who were you?
Yeah, really, right?
Okay.
No, I was in a couple of bands when I first got started, and then it wasn't until the big old C word, the other one, COVID, when I decided that I was going to kind of get out on my own and put my birth name.
COVID's like a catalyst.
Yeah.
And you realize, get busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah. You know what it was that I was with some other guys that I was making music with in Peterborough and found out like after I had been sitting and waiting for them to get back together, like after I don't know how long, and then found out that they were making music without me. So I was I just thought, I'm going to just do this thing on my own. And the cast of characters has revolved a little bit. The Doors have, revolved and evolved, but my core guys have been with me for a very long time.
Well, shout out these core guys.
Yeah, Toots is my drummer, Craig Toutant, who is not only
Toots.
Yeah, and he's a rep from Apex Drums as well, and he has worked for Long and McQuaid and Yorkville, and he is just like, he's played with so many amazing artists, and he has just been by my side for the better part of 20 years. So.
Shout out to Toots.
Yeah, please. And
who else you got there?
Well, my dad actually was playing piano in my band more recently than not too. So my dad has always been a huge, not only supporter of my music, but he brought music into my life when I was a very, when we were kids, we were going to Huey Lewis front row at the Exhibition Stadium.
Oh.
My first concert ever, my mom loved Anne Murray, so we were going to see Anne Murray, and I remember going to the Forum.
At Ontario Place.
At Ontario Place, watching Burton Cummings solo stuff there.
He played there a lot.
Yeah, Glass Tiger. And, music was just a huge, huge part of my upbringing. So I have to shout out my dad because some families watch movies together. My dad would turn off the lights and put on a strobe light and put on Dark Side of the Moon.
Right.
And
that's prog rock.
And he didn't. That is very prog.
I could play a Pink Floyd. So far, for my own knowledge, and nobody tell Rob and Bob. They won't hear this. I think I've got Yes, and I got Pink Floyd.
And Genesis. You need Genesis.
But
Trick of the Tail, Genesis.
I have to go. I don't know the Peter Gabriel led Genesis, which is the prog rock version. I only know the popified Phil Collins led version.
But there's people that are going to freak out telling me that I forgot Government Mule or all these other. Yeah, he was probably not really proggy at all, to be honest. But I'm sure that there's a whole prog thing. Prog has never been my thing, to be honest. So
I just, it's not my thing either. But
Pink Floyd, and that was a real
Floyd.
big part of my growing up for sure. And my dad didn't get high, which is funny. Like my dad did all these quirky, weird, cool things. But he wasn't a stoner and still is not to this day that I know of. But
okay, so he's not hanging out with Canada Kev on the weekends.
No,
I got you here. I got you here. By the way, if you're looking for a keyboardist because your keyboardist is or your piano player is unwell, I'm telling you, Rob Pruce is your guy.
I got a guy. But listen, I will say that Rob is fantastic. So thank you very much for that. But I can't not shout out the guy who I'm playing with now because he's a Canadian artist and a singer-songwriter by the name of Daniel Raymond, and he's amazing. My guitar player is Ken Kacharik, who is not only the hugest Rush fan I know. In fact, if you go on YouTube right now, you can watch him demoing the brand new Alex Lifeson signature guitar on.
Wow.
So he's like, he's the biggest Rush fan that I know.
So he's seen Rush on this new tour.
Yeah, and he's got, I think he has tickets to one show, but I guarantee he's seen them 20 times regardless. It's a problem how much he loves. And I would say Tool is also going to fall in the prog thing too.
Tool does fall in the I was thinking Lattice or something. I
Yes.
was thinking of Tool. It's like a modern prog rocky thing.
Very much so.
Absolutely. Here, by the way, I saw Alex Lifeson come out during Tom Cochran opened for The Who, and Alex Lifeson came out.
How cool is that?
Yeah, cool to see him. And he's got a side project called Envy of None, and the drummer is also the Rush lawyer. His name's David Quinton Steinberg.
No way.
And he was in a band called The Mods, who would play for the Garys at Horseshoe Tavern or whatnot.
Yeah, you know way more about this than
But only
I do.
because I talk to these cats.
It's
And now I know everything there is to know about Warkworth. Okay?
You still go to the shirt
because
every
it's
time.
not. If you don't know the name, you get tricked up in your head. What is it? Warworths, Woolworths, Woolco, Walmart. No, it's so now I feel I should just take it home. It's Warkworth.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I want to give people a sense of what you sound like, unless you have any more of your collaborators you want to name check. Because if you missed one, they're going to give you some heck. Like, hey man, you named Ken, you named Toots. Where the hell am I?
My fantastic bass player currently is a lovely Warkworthian as well. Her name is Natalie Garcia, and she's also originally from Oshawa. So I have to.
What's that like?
Listen, it's okay that you call it the dirty schwa, but
I thought that was a term of endearment.
like maybe it is, but I love Oshawa. I love the people there. I love the scene there. It is the one place that I can still return and not feel anxious. I feel safe, and the music scene and the people running it there are world class. I love Oshawa, and they gave me my start.
You know, I know. I said that because I hear it said. I actually don't believe it's the dirty schwa. That is also the home of my dear friend Elvis. You mentioned Velvet Elvis. My good friend Elvis is in North Oshawa, and he lives very close to the 1993 World Series champion and Toronto Maple Leafs head coach. Manager, I guess. That's like a hockey thing, head coach. Manager Rob Butler.
Oh, wow. So
these are people who currently live in Oshawa.
Yeah, and like my father-in-law was an Oshawa general, so I had an enforcer on the team.
Really?
As well. Yeah, way back in the day. Chandler Knutson. So.
Okay, and that's before Eric Lindros.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Way
just a
before
few
Eric.
years before Lindros.
But I remember watching Generals games on, was it CHCH or whatever, or was it Global? I can't remember
Checks, maybe Checks TV or Rogers even. Roger
there was
Lajoie.
like a game of the week. Roger Lajoie, who's been over a few times.
Yeah, like he was calling games for the Jennies for a long time.
I believe it. That man's hardest working man. He's got a streak going at the Fan 590. We talked about 1430 earlier, but he's got, not a streak. He's got like a 2,000 episodes under his belt or something like that. So Roger Lajoie.
Can you do me a quick favor? Can you give me, I'm still thinking about the name and it's driving me
I can tell
insane.
you the name, but
can you give me the first initial?
M.
Mark.
Mark is correct.
It is Mark. I know it is.
So now you're going to sit in that for a little bit.
Okay. All right. We'll move on. It'll
The
come to me.
nickname for this Mark fellow, literally his nickname was The Voice.
Yeah, of course it is, man. I can't believe
A nickname I never had, except for 1 week when I had a summer cold in July 2026. And I gave myself the nickname The Voice.
Yep.
1 week. It's been
1 week. No, listen, it's going to drive me, and it's already driving me crazy.
It's a long drive. You got 2 hours ahead of you. Okay, so let's get to some music.
Cool.
Because, and then we can hear what you sound like. So I will tell the listenership. Matthew he doesn't know what I'm going to play. But I had an email from Cam Carpenter with a few songs, and I had an email from you with a song. I'm going to start with yours, okay? Because you sent it to me. And we were talking about Rush, Closer to the Heart. Well, you can get closer to the heart, or you can be here in my heart. It's been 7 hours and 15 days. Okay,
It's not even July, and I'm longing for the autumn wind, and getting much higher than we've ever been, again and again. Stale cigarette smoke on back roads.
Mark Daly.
It is Mark Daly. Well done.
I know I'm gonna have to leave this behind me, but you always stay.
Ready?
Here in my heart, I keep a little quiet place for you. Here in my heart, I hold on tightly to your memory. Here in my heart, I keep a little quiet place for you. It's something that I had to do. It's just for you. Yeah, one of us had to break, you said. Everybody knows the truth. Still you always try to keep me out of you and away from you. Now everyone's gone. no one explained. They left me here in the rain, and I know I'm gonna have to leave them behind me, but they always stay. Here in my heart, I keep a little quiet place for you. Here in my heart, I hold on tightly to your memory. Here in my heart, I keep a little quiet place for you. It's something that I had to do. I know you do it too. Always and forever, never had to say another word to me. No, I still believe.
Straight out of Warkworth. Here in my heart. It's great.
Thank you.
You did that? How do you feel listening to it in headphones?
This has never happened. I've never sat with somebody in this capacity before.
Because
That's
you're alone
unnerving.
in your own studio recording into Lindsay or whatever, right? Playing your stuff here.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, this was like everything I do is a huge collaborative effort, meaning this song in particular. But Rob DeBoer, who's also, here's a little funny story for you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the hamster dance?
Of course.
Okay, so one half of the Boomtang Boys is a good friend of mine who not only plays piano
They
on
did
this.
Lucky for, Spaceman. They did Spaceman for Biff Naked. They remixed that.
So Rob is also in Warkworth.
Okay.
And he is not only helped me to produce some of this music, but he plays piano on this one. I cut the vocals for a couple of different things at his place. But my other good friend, Craig Fass, is playing bass and singing backups on this one for me as well. So I have to name drop him too because it's really important. But a band by the name of Blinker the Star is a guy named Jordan Zadarozny who lives now in Pembroke, Ontario. And he helped
Hockeytown.
He helped to mix this particular single, and I cut vocals at his house for it and his beautiful studio. So, although, yes, the foundation was laid at my home studio, and every word that you hear was written by me, and obviously, the drums and all the other stuff is played by my band, but I have such a strong team behind me, and I just love them so
I hear
much.
you. Straight out of Pembroke.
Right.
Not necessarily all out of Warkworth.
Well, yeah, I mean, mixed in Pembroke, recorded in Warkworth.
I love it all. It's so homebrewed here. And one question I have. So I have in my hand, is this like a self-titled album?
So what this is basically my audience is a little bit older. I'm happy to say that.
How old is your audience?
I mean, I would probably say fans of Blue Rodeo and upward. Really, I'm 46.
You're 46.
Yeah, so I'm.
Of course, you remember the World Series. I wish I knew that at the outset. Okay.
Yeah, man. So when it comes down to it, people are always asking me, where are the CDs? So what I'm always doing is
I got a CD player in the studio.
Yeah. Look at the thick layer of dust on it. But I'm always constantly trying to reinvent the best of collections. So I manufacture them on my own, really, and then that little sticker comes from Canva, and I mix it up for the merch table. But CDs sell really, really, really well. They really go quick.
I'll bet. And also, it looks good in the studio when I put it up here.
Thanks, buddy.
Right next to Blowing Up by Jamie Kennedy and
Can you
Steve
put it
Stone.
next to Maestro? Because Symphony in Effect was the soundtrack of my early 80s.
Symphony in Effect was just a mic check.
Oh, man, I love that record.
We lost that man to New Brunswick.
I love that record so much.
Let Your Backbone. That's Symphony in Effect was the record. That's the 12-inch for Let Your Backbone Slide.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? We could talk about Dwight Drummond's cameo in the video directed by Joel Goldberg and how it connected to Electric Circus at 299 Queen Street West. But my question is, so I see there's 11 tracks on this CD that you made, Matthew Holtby, but it doesn't actually include Here in My Heart. So how do you get Here in My Heart, which we just listened to?
So that is on all the streaming stuff, obviously.
Streaming.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the necessary evil for most of us that can't afford to press 100 vinyl right now. So Here in My Heart will be on the next iteration of the mix CD that will be on my merch table the next show that I play.
Can I play something else?
I would be honored.
Just like the scripture in a hotel drawer. I just don't know what good my faith is for. My train of thought ain't making all of the stops, and I'd sell up, but no one wants what I've got. What I've got. What's in a word if no one feels any blame? Who gives a shit if no one feels any shame? You know the sun won't rise in everyone's sky. Stars can't dance until you open your eyes. There ain't no way that you can please all your friends, and all good things will always come to an end. Just take a break and play the game with the cards you've been dealt. Yeah, be good to yourself.
See, I like this one too, but very different from Here in My Heart.
Very much so. The last EP that I did was a conscious effort to do acoustic stuff and recorded in my backyard. In fact, this was recorded in front of 2 microphones, live take, and then I brought it to my friend Rob's place, and he played some. My other friend Ira played some mandolin on it and some guitar.
Do I hear some pedal steel in there?
There's some pedal steel on another song that is in
Which song?
This EP. It's a song called This Opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a little pedal steel on a couple of different things. But you're right. Yeah, this is definitely different.
Be good to yourself. If we tried it, we can make it. But don't we ever just take some chances and stop your thinking and start your living. Get your shoes on, we're going dancing. 'Cause little problems, we could solve them. Try another, but I know you've got one. But there's no hurry, the limelight's calling. In the van we're driving to Austin. This feels like time was making fun of me, taking away at the walls and I can barely breathe. This might be my only chance to leave. Let's not miss this opportunity. Leave in with me.
This opportunity. This song is about your Toronto Mike debut.
And how I don't want to blow it.
2-hour drive. I got some pasta.
He's wearing the t-shirt.
He's got my t-shirt. You know, we made a mistake. We took our photo before the recording, and I'm not wearing the t-shirt. We might have to take one after the recording, so I'm wearing the t-shirt.
The fact that you're wearing it and the fact that I'm here is just magical. So thank you, Mike.
Well, I'm the boss around here, Matthew. We might have to retake that photo. I got it now that I got a t-shirt on here.
Beautiful.
Okay, you know what? It's my show, and you drove a long way. So there is one more Matthew Holtby song I want to play before we wrap up. But I did see on the CD you gave me. You didn't give it to me, actually. I stole it.
No, that's for you.
Is it for me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put it on eBay right now. Hold on. What's it worth here? MatthewHoltbyMusic.com. That's the key, right? That's the key. People got to get their ass to MatthewHoltbyMusic.com and support you in this endeavor.
Thank you.
Because you're not Taylor Swift.
No, I am not.
Even though I hear here kind of a country vibe. You know, you mentioned, you know who I'm trying to get on? The guy from Prairie Oyster.
Oh, wow.
I'm working on it.
Wow.
Like we're working on it.
Man.
And it's funny, I don't remember his name as we speak here. It starts with C. Anyways, but we're working on it. But I was thinking of Blue Rodeo, and I was thinking of that scene with Cowboy Junkies. They were in that scene. There was this like country rock vibe going on here. But the Taylor Swift style of you, that you were this country-esque style on the songs I'm playing right now. But then we heard Here in My Heart, which is like the crossover into Popland. Right?
Yeah, the production is certainly different, but I just write songs.
It's a catchier, poppier, like more synthier sound Here in My Heart that I'm hearing on these tracks, which I like very much, actually. I like all of it.
Thank you very much.
But like I said, it's my show. I'm afraid you're taking over. I'm taking over to tell you I'm playing one more song. Okay?
Take it back, Mike.
Here it is. Oh, is this Maps by Yeah Yeah Yeah?
No, this is the saddest of any of them.
Okay, good. I need a good cry. It's therapeutic.
This will be the one.
Okay.
Why am I so used to all this bad news? Why won't my troubles go away? When I'm the one always hanging on to yesterday. You know I try, I want you by my side when the skies turn cold and gray. Just lay back down, I'm telling you now why you should stay. You say you love the way I look into your eyes, and that you hate it when I'm late, and that you need to know that everything is fine, and I'm coming home today. Why is it so hard to let down my guard? Why do I always pull away when I'm the one who's always hanging on to yesterday?
It is a tearjerker, but this is the second greatest song I've ever heard, called Yesterday.
I thought you were just going to leave it at the second greatest song I've ever heard.
No, of all the songs I've heard called Yesterday, this is my second favorite.
Is the other one from a little band named the Beatles? Maybe?
You've heard of them too.
Do you know that song?
A little indie band out of Liverpool, England.
Obscure. But I have to shout out Victoria, who is the string arranger, and all the strings that you hear are from one glorious and very, very talented young woman named Victoria, and she's
she plays the violin here.
She's brilliant. Absolutely.
You know what? I got to say this. You're a talented son of a bitch. So not only did you come in here with that great voice and this long radio career, and I found out you're describing video for visually impaired people. That's cool. You know, what are these housewives doing that they're not describing with their voice? You're there to fill in the cracks. You got the Jeff Woods voice, the Ryan Reynolds face. And here you are, and you can sing, and you're writing this shit, and you're putting it together, and you're out there hustling. And I think it'd be pretty easy to give up on this because Chris Murphy is right now in Europe. Chris Murphy from Sloan is in Europe playing bass in a cover band by an actor named Michael Shannon. Do you know, is any of this news to you? Do you know this?
I know this just because Chris also shares the love for Guided by Voices, and I've interviewed Chris a handful of times as well.
He's a great interview.
He's not only one of the funniest and most earnest people, like he is really, really funny, but I played Buddy Holly when I first moved to Peterborough. I was Buddy Holly.
The artist, not Weezer.
No, I was like the very skinnier version of me now when I first and younger. But and so anytime that I see Chris Murphy, he tells me, he says, "Hey, buddy," and as that is reminded me, don't go on any plane rides anytime soon.
That's right. The day the music died.
Exactly.
So he is very funny and he's very talented, but he's in a big Canadian superstar rock group. He's also got the side project Trans-Canada Highwaymen, and he's got several other side projects. Chris Murphy. He's got like 7 or 8 different things he's got going on, but he's in Europe playing bass in a cover band led by Michael Shannon, the actor. I think that's all you need to know about Canadian rock and roll stardom.
And the fact that he's not only willing to do it, and then when he gets back from this, he's going out on a solo acoustic tour, and then Sloan is doing One Chord to Another in its entirety for a couple of shows as well, too. But the fact that, listen, the Michael Shannon thing, am I mistaken in that they're playing REM songs?
Yes, you're right. It's not. You're right. So you know what? It's not just cover songs. It's REM
with songs. Jason Narducci, and Jason Narducci was not only in a fantastic band of his own, but he once played with Robert Pollard of Guided by Voices in his solo band as well. And Chris Murphy and I once went to Buffalo with his manager Mike Nelson, who also is a big Guided by Voices fan, and made fun and chirped in my ear essentially the entire concert. And it was one of the greater nights that I ever had.
And Sloan can't play Buffalo right now because Andrew Scott will not cross the border.
I mean, I get it. I'm going to stay Switzerland on all of this. I will still gladly go and see Guided by Voices each and every time that I can. Because
I just don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, now we've already told people where they can go to stream this music, to support you. It's MatthewHoltbyMusic.com, right? I also, in my extensive research, I learned something wonderful. But before I share this exciting news regarding you, can you give me a little vibe of like how did you discover the existence of this podcast? Because you've made a few allusions to being a fan and listening, and I'm curious. Like, do you remember your gateway? Like what episodes have you heard?
So it's funny that you brought up Chris Murphy because I loved that episode as well, but you're in my feed, like in terms of my Instagram as well.
And Instagram. Okay.
Yeah. So at first it was always like, I was like, how does this guy know all of these people? And because I'm such a fan of not only Toronto, like media history and stuff, but you've had Ann Romer and just so many wonderful people that Gord Martineau and all of these.
Right.
All of these people.
Ann Roskowski.
Right. And
Peter Gross.
So Ann Roskowski taught at my college way back in the day.
Mind blow.
Yeah. So
she was on a Real Housewives of Toronto thing.
I believe that too.
She was on that.
Yeah, like there's just been a plethora of wonderful people that I know that
Lauren Honickman,
not only you hold in high regard, but hold you in high regard, right? Wow. So you are kind of living the dream in terms of like people that are audiophiles and like to talk about interesting shit. And the fact that Cam Carpenter brought your name up to me.
Cam's been here?
Well, like that
I made
was
him sit in the rain for an episode during COVID. You mentioned COVID. Nice. We couldn't record down here, and I did in the backyard, and the skies opened up, and he was in a typhoon.
He probably just took it on the chin. No big deal.
Because he thought maybe one day he'll have Manfred Sitman on from Elephants and Stars.
See?
How the world works.
You got to scratch a little back in this game, you know?
It's too funny. I bumped into him at the Elma Combo, and we were there to see Mid-Year.
Nice.
Yeah, and he was there that day. Yeah, he's a good guy. Like that guy. I like you very much. I enjoy your vibe.
Mike. Thank you.
I want to give you huge props because, and I hope I don't butcher this, but maybe you'll help me fill in the cracks here, okay? DREAMS, Durham Regional Excellence in Arts, Music, and Sound. That's what DREAMS stands for.
Does it?
Durham Regional Excellence in Arts, Music, and Sounds. They just had you just got nominated for Best Singer-Songwriter or something like that. Do I have my details correct?
It's, I believe, solo artist.
Okay, so whatever. You're like the Neil Young of Durham County.
I don't believe that is true at all. But
okay, you're the Hayden Desser of Durham County.
Nor is that, but I will still take both of those references. I have been nominated in that in itself, and I'm not saying this just to be that humble guy. That I already won. The fact that they recognized or acknowledged me
you
at
haven't
all,
literally won.
I did not win anything.
It was an honor just being nominated.
In fact, that night, I'm also sheepish in saying that I can't go because I'll be at Kathleen Edwards at Massey Hall.
Okay.
But, you know, what can I do here?
But there's a ceremony? Like I'm a little ignorant regarding dreams. So, I have dreams, but they're different dreams.
They're going to be different after this. Let me tell you that much. But they do an award ceremony, and I believe this is the second or third year.
Is it in Oshawa?
It is. It's in Oshawa at the fabulous Biltmore Theater.
Wow. I've heard of the Biltmore Theater. I feel like Rusty played there.
I opened for David Wilcox at
the Bearcat.
Yes, we did the Hypnotize and Boogie, and all my family was there, but the Biltmore is
You opened for David Wilcox? You're bearing the lead here. That would have been I would have put that in the cold open.
I just opened for William Prince last week, too.
I love that guy's voice.
Yeah.
I saw him at Massey Hall. What was I at? Like a Songwriters Hall of Fame thing or something. But that guy's got a great voice.
But the only reason I just said that is because those are the two biggest things that have ever happened to me in my musical career.
One day you will open for Sloan. This is I think Chris Murray.
Not if Chris has anything.
Guided by Voices cover band.
No, that will not happen. But I will say that, yes, I have had many wonderful, beautiful opportunities. I'm very, very grateful and humble.
And you're only 46 years young. I feel like this is not like we were talking like 50 years ago. I'd say, you're about to die. Shout out to Ridley Funeral Home. Ridley Funeral Home had sent something for you and I haven't given it to you yet. So I'm glad I thought about death for a moment before we say goodbye.
Is this to measure my casket?
It's just to measure your casket. Okay. This is it's making sure it's functional here.
Right,
this is a measuring tape courtesy of Ridley Funeral Home for you, Matthew Holtby.
Thank you so much.
Just a recap. You're getting the lasagna. I feel like Monty Hall here. You're getting the lasagna from Palma Pasta. It's in my freezer upstairs. You're getting a book on the history of Toronto Maple Leafs baseball.
My son is getting this book, just so you know.
Let him know Rob Butler, who's in that book with his brother Rich. They're East York legends, but let him know Rob Butler now lives in Oshawa.
I love that. And we go just to watch minor league baseball all the time. So the fact that you don't even have to buy a ticket to go to this, like we're going to...
No ticket required. And Yasiel Puig is hitting dingers and dongers. It's unbelievable. He's at Christie Pitts hitting him out of the park.
Love it.
This fresh craft beer from Great Lakes Brewery also going home with you.
I love that. And I've played there before. I've played, in the tent outside that they have at...
30 Queen Elizabeth Boulevard.
Yes, I have played there, and I've met a few really close friends just from playing there, to be honest.
Whenabouts was this?
2 years ago now.
Okay, next time you're playing at GL, because I have an event there every...
You were there like last week, weren't you?
It was late June.
Right, okay.
Not quite. It was about
Were you there yesterday?
1 month ago, as I checked there. 1 month ago. Almost 1 month ago. Maybe 1 month and 2 days ago, actually. I was there for TMLX 22, but we're having our next TMLX event, long drive for you, so I won't even invite you. I will do you the honor of not inviting you, because it's going to be at the GLB Brew Pub, which is at Jarvis and Queens Quay, and that will be TMLX 23, and I will soon announce the date. And we have a limit to how many people can attend.
So I'm not getting an invite.
Well, I don't think you want to do the drive. Like, I would love to have you there.
No,
I'm doing you the favor of not putting
Mike.
you in the position where you feel like you have to accept because I gave you all this stuff. So the other two Durham artists who are up against you in this Dreams Award are Whitney Ross Barris and Will Gillespie. Gillespie.
I believe
I'd butcher that. You would know. Okay. Yeah. And are they good enough to beat you or whatever? Is this yours? Is it in the bag?
Can I say this? That music is subjective and that there should be no competition. I will not accept the fact that I am better nor less than anyone.
I agree with you that music is subjective, but my aforementioned buddy Elvis, who lives in North Oshawa, said to me recently, Bon Jovi makes better music than Pearl Jam. And I want to know, can that be subjective, or has he lost his marbles?
I think that he has lost his marbles, if that's okay.
He's just wrong. Like, as subjective as art is, he's wrong.
What's the best Bon Jovi song?
That one with the steel horse I ride.
Okay.
What's that one called? Wanted, Dead or Alive? Is that what it's called?
Yep, but what's the best Pearl Jam song?
Oh, God. I'll take the Crazy Mary cover, the Victoria Williams Crazy Mary cover.
The Sweet Relief Benefit album. Wow.
Right. Which also has a good Soul Asylum Soul Asylum song on it called Summer of Drugs.
And Frying Pan by Evan Dando of the Lemonheads.
Who is almost as handsome as you are.
That is very nice. And on more drugs. Clearly.
It's a Shame About Ray was a great album, but then they tacked on the cover of Simon and Garfunkel's Mrs. Robinson.
And you know what? They never played it live.
Interesting, because that's the only song CFNY would play from that album was Mrs. Robinson.
That's such a tragedy, man, because that's a great record.
Yeah, It's a Shame About Ray is a great record. I listen to It's a Shame About Ray, and it sounds like, it sounds, and I don't think this is true, but it sounds like he was listening to Shakespeare My Butt by Lois de la Lowe, where you will find Rosie and Gray, which is being covered here by Rob Bruce.
Look at you.
Okay, any final words before I give the good people a enthusiastic and that? Say anything you want.
That was awesome. I just want to say thank you, Mike. I'm very humbled. And
was it worth the drive?
100%. This is the highlight of my year. So thank you so much.
Your year? Holy smokes. You got to get out more, buddy.
I clearly do.
I've been fading on the wrong thing the whole time.
Like,
you're the radio
happening?
veteran. I'm like, where is this sound?
I just pretend like you know what you're doing, and then I'm just going to sit here.
This is my first episode. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Happy 1939th episode. Mark Daly.
And that brings us to the end of our 1939th show. 1939, that number. Another summer. Sound of the funky drummer. This is the anniversary of Chuck D's Toronto Mike debut.
No way.
On this day in 2019. So you're following in the footsteps of a giant, my friend.
Oh my God. Fear of a Mike planet.
Fear of a Matthew Holtby planet.
Ugh.
Go to TorontoMike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs. And much love to all who made this possible. Subdivisions. Great Lakes Brewery, where Matthew Holtby once played. Next time you play there, let me know. I'll bike over. Palma Pasta. Don't leave without the lasagna. It's delicious. Your kids are going to love it. Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball. Nick Ieni's. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. And Ridley Funeral Home. There's a new episode of Life's Undertaking recording on Wednesday. See you all Wednesday.
Gino Vanelli.
You got it. Black cars, buddy. Can we get off black cars already? Todd Bueller is going to come back and kick out more 70s jams from Swansea. He was very beloved in his first visit. He's making a return. And then it's Downtown Jane Brown, who was on Q107 and is now the morning show host at Zoomer Radio. See you all then.